Hello, Tashi Delay. Good afternoon. I'm Jason McDonald. I hope everybody's doing well. This is going to be really quick because I have a call coming up in about 15 minutes. So I have to be, 15 minutes. So I have to be really quick. The million-dollar question for each of us is, are we ready for death? And I know that that may sound a certain way to some of us Americans. We may not like the sound of that. We may not think that that's a positive thing to think about or a positive thing to talk about. But you know what? It's just reality. Right now, it's the fall in the Midwest. The leaves are changing. Temperatures are plummeting. Everything's in constant flux. And that's how our bodies are. Our bodies are temporary pieces of material that will dissolve in time. The only option is for our minds to dissolve. Correction, for our bodies to dissolve. Our minds actually do not dissolve. Our minds go on and go forward. According to Buddhist thought, and quite honestly, most other religions, a lot of the religions call it a soul, and they believe that the soul moves forward. But at the end of the day, there is a sense of karma that propels our mind, body, soul, whatever, not the body, but the mind or the soul forward, ultimately. So, but what I want to talk about very quickly is we do need to think and contemplate on death. And the reason that I say that is if we haven't prepared for it, if we haven't started to get our minds ready, then when death comes, we're going to be terrified. And I think at the end of the day, what we have to learn how to do is to let go of everything. We have to learn how to let go of everything, especially this body, especially this life that we're attached to. Most of us are very attached to loved ones. Some of us are attached to our work, material items, things like this. When the moment of death comes, which, by the way, we don't know when it's going to come, when it comes, we're not going to have any control over the situation. And if we haven't prepared, if we haven't taken the time to think about how do I let go? How do I get to a point where I can let go of all of these mental and emotional attachments that I have? If we haven't taken the time to do that, according to Buddhist thought, we're most likely going to have a really bad rebirth. And we may have a lower rebirth. We may be reborn as an animal. We may be reborn in a really negative place where we don't have access to spiritual teachings and that kind of thing. So for me, and this can be different for each of us, but for me, what my preparation for death is, a big part of it is my daily practice. When I sit and I do meditation on the breath, and I pay attention to the breath, the inhale and the exhale, the breath comes and the breath goes. There's a lot of different things that arise for us, mental objects, physical sensations, things like the sounds, disturbances, distractions. A lot of things arise, and our natural inclination is to judge them as pleasant or unpleasant. Things that are pleasant, we really like and we crave. Things that are unpleasant, we oppose them and we push them away. That's called desire and aversion. Now, what allows desire and aversion to arise is ignorance. Ignorance of, a lack of mindfulness, a lack of mental acuity, mental clarity that perceives things coming and going. When we lack that ignorance, that fogginess, things come, something really nice comes, whether it's a physical sensation or a compliment, it comes, and then we like it and we crave it instantly. And that all happens in milliseconds, right? So what we need to learn how to do, quite simply, is we need to learn how to let go. We need to understand that what the Buddha was really trying to tell us was that we can be completely free from this prison of mental conditioning, which the Buddha called samsara, the wheel of life. We were born, birth, old age, sickness, death. Circle back, birth, old age, sickness, death. It's this, we go from life to life and we just go again and again in this circle of samsara. So when we sit and we meditate and we watch the breath, most of us have different physical sensations that arise. If you're a new meditator, you're going to have all kinds of pains in your body when you try to sit and meditate. If you have more experience meditating, you may notice that, this depends on your situation. For me, I have asthma, I have acid reflux, I have a whole host of negative physical problems. And watching those come and then watching my mind oppose or cling to certain things is a very powerful practice, because it allows me to see, am I letting go? Am I able to, first of all, be mindful enough to see something arise, like something like anger when a certain thought arises? Can I see that happen? Is my mind clear enough? Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. And then the bottom line, which is pretty much a teaching of every sage, every master that has ever come through, is the ability to let go. Again and again, letting go of everything that arises. Then if we're doing that, and if we're remembering that I am going to have to die at some point, death is going to come, and am I capable of letting go of my body altogether? Understanding that we're going to go forward into the next life. Are we capable? Can we truly let go of this life? I can tell you honestly, I'm not there yet. I'm working hard on it, working on developing acceptance, opening to whatever arises. You know, there can't really be any suffering if there's no resistance. Think about that for a moment. If you are open to everything that arises, accepting, relax and release, open your heart, smile at the pain that arises in our body, smile at the difficulties that arise in our life. It's not easy to do, but we have the ability to do that because our minds are infinite. That's something that's really struck me, very, very kind of punched me right between the eyes lately in my daily meditation practice, is that this mind is infinite, and most of us haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg of what our mind is capable of doing. Since this mind is infinite and unlimited, it's completely free. It's unmediated. It has no limitation. It has no conceptual limitation. It has no physical limitation. It has no form. This mind is completely infinite and free, and we can be completely content in every moment of our lives. And that's very, very powerful. And that should be very intriguing for us. That should not be something that you hear and then just discard. That should be something that you hear and think, you should question it. Is it really possible for something that miraculous to come into being within us? Is it really possible for us to be completely content with everything that arises? I mean, everything. You know, really bad sickness, can you smile at it and welcome it? Somebody really evil with you, can you smile and welcome their evil? Somebody giving you lots of trouble, you know, can you smile and cultivate the patience that allows love to flourish? This is what the Buddha was teaching us. This is the essence of his teachings. He attained liberation, and then for a long time he sat under this tree in a pure state of bliss, and he contemplated not going out and teaching because people just wouldn't get it. He was thinking, you know, how do I teach this? Nobody's going to understand the experience that I've had. And I think he's right. I don't think we experientially understand his teaching, or we don't experientially understand what he went through. But most of us can use logic, reasoning, analysis, and, you know, very quickly, if you're open-minded, very quickly come to the conclusion that his teachings are just spot on. You know. So that's the bottom line. Is we got to get ready for death. And the way that we do that is we start to let go. We start to let go of the craving and the desire that plagues us, and the aversion, anger, opposition, resistance that plagues us. And we cultivate a clear alertness of our mind that can see all of these things coming. And the way we do that is we meditate. Every day we meditate. Lots of different types of meditation we can do. The best way to start is probably by observing the breath, focusing on the sensations of the breath coming and going, sitting with a straight back. You can cross your legs. You can sit in a chair with your feet planted firmly on the ground. and then you just breathe naturally, and you watch the air, the sensation of the air coming in the nostrils and flowing back out of the nostrils. You don't change your breathing in any way. And then once you start doing that, what will happen is you will, if you stick with it, you will experience a profound peace. And you'll also experience a myriad of thoughts just coming and rushing at you. And you will, if you're new, you'll think you can't meditate. You'll think you're a bad meditator. But the truth of the matter is you're just finally awake enough to even see that these thoughts and emotions are coming. And that's the starting point, okay? But for me, the whole point is I got to get prepared to die. I got to be ready because we know it's coming. And if you're not preparing, you're just, it's probably the most important thing that'll happen to us is that we'll die, because that's an opportunity. And according to Buddhism, that's an opportunity to actually obtain a full enlightenment. Of course, we can do it in this lifetime too, but when we die, there's an opportunity to experience directly the emptiness of our mind. And then there's a few other chances to obtain or attain enlightenment. So for the benefit of all beings. On that note, I got to go. I have another work phone call coming. I dedicate the merit of this short Dharma talk to all precious sentient beings. As a result of this merit, may the body, speech, and mind of every living being be purified immediately, and may every living being, including you, attain perfectly enlightened Buddhahood, where they will never suffer again for even a millisecond. I wish deeply from the bottom of my heart that this happens. Okay. Love you all. Peace. Bye.